Alright, well, day number 1 is in the books for the Tactical Shooting Instructor course. If you stumbled on this video without watching the introduction video I posted, not really necessary unless you just want to kind of get a little bit more context to watch the preceding video. But I said I would do a quick little vlog every day when I got back to the hotel room to kind of talk about what's going on at the class. So day number 1 was fun. It's kind of rainy out there today, which really doesn't stop us from training if it's not, thundering or lightning or anything like that, which it wasn't. But half the day was classroom anyway, so the first half of the day we sort of was able to ride out the rain and then get out on the range for the second half of the day, and pretty much had missed all the rain. I think it's gonna be nice the rest of the week, so that's pretty good. You always wonder when you do these springtime classes if it's how the weather's gonna affect you. But anyway, number 1, one negative, I'll get it out of the way. The negative is they're pretty adamant about us not videoing or even really taking still shots of what's going on the range. So I don't know how much of that. We have to get expressed permission to do any kind of videography on the range. And the thing they specifically talk about is not posting anything to social media. So this qualifies as that. So I don't know how much of the live fire stuff, if any, I'll be able to put on the range. Hopefully I'll get a couple of static shots. But anything that they're going to let me make public like this is not going to be anything of any consequence, really. So just to summarize how the day went, we started out the day in the classroom talking about instructor development type stuff and kind of going over the syllabus for the week, and went over some of the basics. And even at these higher level instructor courses, which certainly Tactical Shooting Instructor qualifies as, they're still going to hit you with the basics to make sure we're on the same sheet of music. I got out after lunch to the range, did some dry fire stuff just to kind of, I think it's really for the master instructors, just kind of visualize us, see us with their own eyeballs, go through what they assume we're capable of. It's a really small class. There's only 7 people, including myself in the class, and 1 instructor. And the instructor is really good to go. I can already tell he's going to be a great instructor. And I've never had any bad instructors through the NRA law enforcement division, but this guy's going to be right up there at the top with some of the best that I've worked with. A very laid-back guy, understands his stuff. A lot of good participation. And as I assumed and talked about in the first video, there are some high-level shooters in this class. There's people from federal agencies most of you have probably never heard of. There's a few law enforcement officers, a lot of government contractor type people. I say a lot, there's only 7 people in the class. I think 1 active duty military guy. And everybody in the class is either former military or law enforcement, if not still active law enforcement and military. So really high level shooters. We got straight into some really dynamic stuff. I mean, dynamic in the sense that we're shooting and moving and communicating and all that kind of stuff, doing failure drills, still hitting basics. But it was fun, and got to run some shot clock stuff. I love getting on the shot clock, and we can start making a competition. The target's going to show accuracy, but if we can't bring time into it, then it's not a true competition if you're talking about shooting in this kind of environment. So we were able to do that and kind of compare shots. So far, so good. Doing pretty well, performing, alongside the best of the class at this point. That's not ego talking; it's just the truth. The last thing we did was a very basic drill, but we were, shooting to slide lock on 1 round. So 1 round in the chamber, empty magazine inserted in the weapon, draw, fire, do a specific type of combat reload. It's a little different than what I'm used to doing in terms of how they want us to hold the weapon. Understanding that we are free to do it whatever way works for us and our equipment, but what they want to see is us demonstrate the methodology that's going to work for most people with most equipment. And so that's what they're timing us on. And I think my time was a 1:53 on that drill, and I think the next fastest time using that methodology was right at a 2:38, I think is what it was. So I was able to win, if you will, that competition. It's not a win-lose kind of thing, but shots were good to go. This is going to be a great group of people. We're already ribbing each other and doing like military and law enforcement types do in these environments. When you get 7 alpha males into a class that are all good to go guys, but still want to compete and excel and give each other a hard time. So there's been a lot of that going on already, and I can tell this is going to be a really enjoyable class. The weather should be cooperating for the rest of the week, so that'll be good to go. We didn't even touch rifles and carbines today, nor did we touch backup and concealed carry. So all that's going to get folded in. I know we're going to jump into some carbine work and then some dual gun work where we're running handguns and rifles, sort of simultaneously in the same drill. And then at some point we're going to transition, and do some stuff with the backup gun. So not a lot of specifics to talk about today, other than I'm really encouraged about how this class is going to go. I think I'm going to make some contacts in this class that I want to hold on to. There's 2 or 3 other people in the class that, like me, have their own business, doing training and stuff. So it's good to kind of rub shoulders with them, get some professional contacts, and sort of trade war stories, and get some feedback on not just methodologies of instructions and drills and stuff, but also the business side of it. How do they manage this and that? So some good contacts that we're going to have. Already realized that I know some of the same people that our instructor knows from other classes, so which is interesting considering the wide breadth of geography that's covered in this class. Everybody from South Florida to New York. So, but still at this point in my career, starting to see some professional overlap with these other people. So anyway, stay tuned. I'll have way more, I'm sure, to talk about in terms of drills and stuff as the week goes on, and hopefully have something a little more interesting than this vlog. But appreciate you tuning in. Like, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment, please. Ask questions, and I'll see you after the class tomorrow.